Hello and welcome to Swan Stack by Abaniz. Halloween is a month away and I'm sharing with you how to make this easy bat donut this time. Let's get right into it. You will need pins and needles, a pair of scissors, a fabric marking pen, and embroidery threads, felt fabric of your choice, some fiber fill, and finally our pattern. First, let's cut our pattern parts out. You will find the free PDF pattern in the description below. This is the base pattern part for the donut. And remember to cut out the middle part as in a donut. There are a total of 5 pieces in this pattern for the base, the wings, eyes, ears, and for the teeth. These are the colors I have selected for this project. Take the main part of the pattern and pin that to the felt fabric color of your choice. This one is gonna be the bottom part of the donut, and that's why I have selected this beige color. You can draw the inner circle using a fabric marking pen to make things easier. Now carefully cut around the base part. Remove the pins. Make a small cut in the middle and cut the small circle part out. We are using the same pattern for the top as well. I have selected pumpkin spice color for the top. Pin and cut out the felt piece as we did earlier. Now the two base parts are all done. Let's move to the other parts of the pattern. We'll need 2 from the bat wing, and you can pin it to the fabric and carefully cut it around. I'm going with black color for the wings, eyes, and for ears. When you are cutting fabrics for the eyes, ears, and teeth, you can hold the pattern like this while cutting it around. We will need 2 for eyes, 2 for ears, and 4 for teeth in white color. I'm starting with the teeth. Take the bottom part of the donut and let me show you how these are gonna be. They have to be equally spaced out and pointy ends toward the middle. Thread your needle and make a knot at the end. I'm using a thread color to match with the color of the bottom layer. I forgot to show you this embroidery floss at the beginning. Start to sew one by one around the inner circle as shown in my sketch. Use the running stitch, and just to be clear, all the knots have to be on this side only. Otherwise, it's gonna be visible to the outside. End with a couple of knots. Trim the thread. Now this is how everything is gonna assemble in the donut. Let's go ahead and finish everything with the bottom part. As you now know the positions of the pieces, start to sew one by one. I'm starting with the wing and I'm using the running stitch. Even here, make sure all the knots stay on this side of the donut. It means you have to start and finish all the stitches on this side. After sewing the two wings and the two ears, you are done with the bottom layer. We are moving to the top part of the donut. Get an idea of where you want the eyes to be. Change the thread color to black and start to sew one eye at a time. Come from back of the fabric this time. You can use the back stitch or whip stitch for this and sew around the two eyes. End the stitch with a couple of knots and trim the thread. To give a little detail to the eyes, I have thread my needle with white embroidery with all 6 strands. I'm going to do a French knot in the middle of the 2 eyes. We have a full tutorial on how to do the French knot, and please follow that if you don't know how to do that. I will leave the link in the description. Make a couple of knots at the back. Trim the thread. Place the top layer of the donut on top of the bottom part and make sure everything is positioned okay as in our sketch. Now we are going to assemble these two by sewing around the inner circles together. Start to sew in between the 2 layers, and that way we can nicely hide the knot. You can use the blanket stitch or whip stitch for this part. I'm using the whip stitch and I think it suits this project because this is for Halloween. Be careful when it comes to the teeth. Sew all the way around the circle. End the stitch by making a knot. Insert the needle in between the 2 layers to hide the thread. Trim it at the end. The only thing now we have to do is sew around the bigger circles while assembling them together. I'm starting at this point only because it's easier to stuff then. Come up in between 2 layers to hide away the knot. You can start at any point. Use blanket stitch or whip stitch for this part. I'm gonna go with whip stitch for this one too. As you reach half of the circle, use some fiber fill to stuff the donut. You can use a small wooden rod like this one to reach the far ends. Start to sew again and stuff as you go. You can stuff lightly or tightly as you prefer. When you reach all the way to the starting point, end your stitch by making a couple of knots. Enter the needle in between the two layers and come up at one of the layers. Trim the thread at the end, and that way you can hide away the extra thread. With that, we are all done with our bat-shaped donut for the coming Halloween season. Hope you all like this easy DIY craft and make sure to try this one out. Please subscribe to the channel and I'll join you in the next one.